Welcome back to another episode of At Your Big Age. My name is Dionne.
I'm Kieron.
And today we are joined again by the family podcast. They are off camera, but hey.
Hey, what's good?
How are you guys doing?
Good, thank you.
Lovely.
Good. So we've not recorded in a while, so I kind of missed the point that we've been doing At Your Big Age for a year. It's been a whole year.
A whole year.
So I just want to say to my dear co-host, thank you.
Innit?
Because honestly, like, I had a hiatus, like you guys know, and if Kieron didn't come back and start with me, I don't know how far I could have kind of got with things. So Kieron, thank you.
Let's give them a round of applause.
So
You're welcome. Can we get a minute for the t-shirts? We did a whole episode.
Yes.
Can we just, yeah.
So we've got our At Your Big Age merch t-shirts. So if you guys want one, just drop me a DM and we can.
They are available in double XL if anyone wants to use it as a nightie and sleeping.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a quick toast to At Your Big Age being
A year old.
We had the Love Laid Bare 5-year birthday back in April. So yeah, all is going well.
Swimmingly
well. And you guys. So Sammy and Don have been on the platform like 3 years ago. I think we had some drinks then as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, listening back, you lot were a little bit drunk, I think. From what I recall. But anyway,
Plausible still.
At Your Big Age. Cheers.
Thank you for coming.
So how do you feel?
About what?
Being on At Your Big Age.
It's gone quick, you know?
It has gone quick.
It's gone quick. I still haven't watched an episode.
That's terrible.
It's mad, isn't it? I still haven't watched an episode. Yeah, it's good. Positive feedback from people.
Yeah.
Random people stopping me in supermarkets. So I said, I watched your thing. It's really good.
Yeah.
While I'm trying to pick meat. It's always nice. Yeah, it's good, man. Here's to another year.
It's another year. Yeah, cheers. Another year.
Another year.
So, Sammy and Don are going to throw a random question out to us. So, when you guys are ready, let's see what you got.
My question is, how do you feel about marriage and the taking of surnames?
I am a big marriage advocate. I have been married. I intend to get married again. I am also a great believer in double-barreled names.
Boo.
Yeah, when I got married, I double-barreled my name. When my daughter was born, despite the objection, I double-barreled her name too. That was a little bit techie. I remember we we went to the registry office, and we both kind of sat there like. So the registrar was like,
Give you a minute.
so what we can do? And I said none of us were budging, so she was like, okay, because it was such a contentious topic that we literally got to, because you have like 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So we literally got to like, it was like the 5th week of the 6th day, and she was like, I'm going to extend it for another 2 weeks. But then you need to come back and make a decision. But I feel like I was quite well within my rights for the decision I made. It wasn't just because I just felt like doing it. I had my reasons.
Marriage and me is not really a thing. I've said it on this before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the double barreled, actually, we're gonna come back to that because, yeah. But sons, I'm more concerned with having surnames just because that's just a man thing. But girls, not so much, because obviously the world goes according to plan. Your daughter's going to get married anyway, so your surname's gone, so it's pointless. But for legacy sake, I would like, not like I'm out here doing a Nick Cannon and having thousands of kids, but legacy wise, I prefer that my child, if it's a boy, has my surname. And I don't like double barrel. My son's got a double barrel surname. I think it's very pretentious, and I think a lot of the time women do it to be a little bit awkward
Interesting.
because, and how can I say this without getting myself in trouble?
No, get in trouble.
It's all right for you because you don't get the DMs, you don't get the SMS, you don't get the messages. I can't believe you said that. Yeah. For me, it was. I feel like it was done awkwardly on both counts. My daughter, I don't think my daughter has my surname. No, she doesn't. But again, her mum was being awkward when we did it, so my name wasn't on it. I signed it, but my name wasn't on the
birth certificate at all.
No, it's on there, but just not. She doesn't have my surname.
Right. Okay.
And you was okay with that?
I mean, I was 19 at the time. It was a bit. I wasn't okay with it, but it was. There was so much other things happening.
Oh, okay, yeah. It was just
This
this is insignificant.
This was the least
Yeah.
of. Do you know what I mean? For 19, and then my son I was 26, and then it was just argument, and in the end, I kind of just gave in. But my last son, it's just Fisher, done, and that was very easy. It wasn't an argument. I just think every time I think of I said this off camera, double barrel surnames it's just extra for me. I just think you've had a child by someone, just give them the name and just keep it moving. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
I mean, no, I can hear both sides of the argument, but like I say, like I had my own personal reasons for why I chose. Well, for which one?
Why did you choose the double barrel?
What, when I got married?
Your daughter's.
So I chose to double barrel my daughter's name because at the point that I was pregnant, that's when my marriage broke down.
Okay.
And there's probably not known to many people, but if you are traveling with a child that does not have your surname, there is a rigmarole. And if the child is old enough, they get interrogated. Is this your mum? Blah, 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 blah. And I just kind of thought, do you know what? Why am I going to put myself through all of that when I carried her in my stomach for 42 weeks? And I'm just not doing it. Like, my surname's double-barreled, her surname can be double-barreled, and we can travel with ease. And, yeah.
I mean, if you take the legacy part out, it really doesn't matter unless you're getting married. If we're going to keep it, if you're not, and it's going to be mad for me to even say this and contradict myself, but if you're not too fussed about getting married, then really you shouldn't really be too fussed about the surname part, because if we're gonna, it's really, they go hand in hand, right? It does. It kind of goes hand in hand.
But the thing is, I know a lot of children, I guess, who's I guess their mothers then really are probably going to be the decision makers, right? Who've double barreled their names. But, you know, again, for them, it is also about legacy as well, because they want their child to carry, you know, the surname of their father. Do you know what I mean?
That's not how it works, though.
Okay, no, yeah, but this is the thing when it comes to tradition. Tradition are ever evolving. There are traditions that happened maybe 100 years ago that we don't do now. Do you see what I mean? So why is it so important that this particular one is carried on?
It's true, and it's true, because especially when you're not observing
other
any
things.
other tradition. Yeah, if you're not observing it, that's why I'm saying it's mad, contradictory. But I'm grown. I can contradict myself. It's fine.
Yeah.
But that's where if you're not observing the tradition of marriage, then you shouldn't really care about who carries your name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it change based on financial status? So, for example, if you married into a family of your wife, and for example, they had the Zara name, or they had the Kardashian name, because technically, marriage has been more about what you get out.
It's more of a business than
So do you think you'd be more acceptable to the double barrel name now that you're older?
Nah, my name is my name. I'm keeping my name. I'm not taking no one's name. Like, if I was to get married, then they've got like...
Yeah.
Still.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
I'm basically off of what you just said. So let's say you are marrying into the Cartier family. And they say to you, look, in order for you to inherit some of the family wealth, when you marry our daughter, Florence,
Awful name.
I know, but just work with it. I don't know why I got Florence wrong. But when you marry Florence, you know, the solicitor saying it would be advisable for you to take on the
No, that's
Cartier
fine.
name.
I'll keep my name. My name is my name. I'll keep my name. That's a disrespect. I'll keep my name.
So you wouldn't, so it's okay.
I would find that incredibly
So
disrespectful.
it's okay, you know, would you consider double barreling?
No, I'm
Why?
keeping my name.
But why?
Because that's the name that I was given. It's my name. Same way I wouldn't change my name as an adult. I wouldn't just suddenly, you can't call me Kieron anymore. I'm going to be David because I don't like Kieron. My parents chose to give me the names that they've given me. So I was born that way. I'm going to die that way. I'm not going to change my name to fit into something that...
Well, no, but it's not fitting in. But they're saying to you, like, you know, in terms of transfer of wealth.
No, I'm all right with the wealth. I don't want it. Like
and that for your children, you know,
No.
the company's going to be handed over to you, but you're going to have to take the Cartier name.
Nope. I'll keep my
I
name.
feel like you're being wrong and
I'll
strong.
keep my name. I'm definitely being wrong and strong. I'm being ignorant.
Yeah, I definitely
ignorant
feel
black man on
like
camera. I'll keep my name. I'll keep it.
I definitely feel like you are.
I'll keep it. The same way if my youngest got older and married into something and turned around and said, well, you can't call me, I'm not a Fisher anymore, I'd be incredibly offended. How dare you? Especially if you've got a good relationship with the person and it's different. If there's trauma, you don't want to carry their name, it's different.
Okay.
If you've had a good upbringing with this person, then there's absolutely no need for you to change your name. No, I'd be offended. I'd actually be hurt if I'm going to keep it real.
I mean, but feelings are just feelings. They kind of go
Don't
away.
invalidate-
I disagree.
I feel like
I disagree because I had this conversation with your aunties could never, and they were saying, but it's not making sense. And I said, yeah, but I know the feeling that I feel when somebody comes to me and says, I don't want your name. I want to add my name to the end. Or when someone says, oh, I know you have a surname, but I want you to take mine.
Yeah.
And generally, we negate it when it comes to men in this topic. But when it comes to any other topic and a female says, well, I feel hurt, you know, I feel like, you know, someone's being a predator towards me. We don't say, oh, yeah, but it's just your feelings.
It's just how you feel.
Know, oh, yeah, don't worry,
That's just how you feel. That's just how you feel. I'm sorry you feel that way. That's just how you feel.
We go, this should be something that we look at and something that is warranted because this is the way that you feel and we should acknowledge it. When it comes to double barrel names, especially when it comes to men, it's like,
No.
who cares about your feelings?
If I was someone that was getting married and if the person I'm marrying really didn't want to take my name, then we just have two separate surnames.
And that's
We're still married.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah,
Someone said that, why don't you just create a new surname and then that's that? But then they also use the double barrel as an example, if I remember correctly. They're saying if you just double barrel it, then that's like a new, like to them, they saw that as like a new name.
It's funny.
Or like combining the two names
I
together.
saw that somewhere once, that the people, they just took the two parts of the surnames and put them together and made a whole new
name.
And I thought, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I mean, you see, okay, so we're both of Caribbean origin, right? I think for me, once I began to just learn things and about my ancestry and stuff like that, for me, my surname became less important.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because, but again, this kind of awakening came after, you know, I got married, if that makes sense. Don't show him this. But possibly, in hindsight, now that I know what I know, possibly I may have just...
not you backtracking. Not you back... Wait, what?
Wait.
Hold on, what?
Wait. I'm not saying absolutely, but now possibly I may have not argued as strongly
vehemently as you did.
as
Good
I
word,
did,
good word.
because you know, why would I want to carry the surname of
People that owned you. People that owned you.
yeah, potentially. Do you know what I mean?
Especially when my ancestors were running fast, you get me? So I have my actual name.
And you know what? Even that, I think that when you put that into the mix, it makes it a little bit different. So I get why, like, people from African descent, their surnames will go on.
Yeah.
And I've said that before. Like, for me, it's very cultural. Like, I do, not saying that I'm a traditionalist in terms of the sense of always taking the tradition, but I try to have insight into things. And I'm kind of like, okay, if you go to Ghana and you say my name, they can link it back to the tribes
Yeah.
that my family came from. You're basically telling me, done and dusted with that,
And this is what we're doing
this
now.
is what we're doing now. But then I got challenged to say, but there's other African women who have exactly the same. And I'm like, but the difference is traditionally you signed up to what you signed up for.
Yeah.
So I'm not here telling you that I'm not going to pay dowry for you. I'm not here saying I'm not going to do this. You're telling me to take parts of the tradition and then you're negating the other parts. To me, that don't make no sense.
Hold on, sorry. Just is the dowry thing really still a thing? Does that really?
Yeah.
Is that
Especially
really?
if you marry Ghanaian to Ghanaian. Yeah, it's a big thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they have like the traditional marriage, like, and then you have your white wedding.
Yeah.
So the traditional is part of that. The family send over a list of the things that they want. You agree what you will bring and what you won't, because some of it don't make sense.
Yeah.
7 iPads and 9 perfumes. And, do you know what I'm saying? And then you're like, okay, well, we're not going to do 7 iPads, but I'll get 2.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah. And then you barter with the family. And some of it is like kind of jest in it. Like they'll come in, they'll be like, oh, look at the fine African boy from his fine family. Like the traditional is actually jokes when you start to understand it. They get like parts of the family to stand up and they be like, oh, how much would you pay for this person? And they're like, look at the fine family that you're coming into. Then the bride will come in with her people and they'll be like, no, this one, look at her. She is shining. No, you have to up the bride price. Come on, bring in more boxes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you
It
say,
does,
but you say
a
that,
little bit.
But it's very traditional.
Yeah.
Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So for me, I kind of uphold that tradition to some degree, yes.
So if you, for example, married someone who was not Ghanaian, let's say you married I don't know, a woman of Asian descent,
Yeah.
for argument's sake. Now, you know, they have very strong traditions themselves. How would that kind of work?
So I would, for me personally,
Yeah.
I'd have the conversation in it. For me, everything starts with the conversation. Cause I'm going to be as real as possible in it. So I'm going to be like, I'm not double barreling the money unless you've got a real reason why this needs to happen, innit? And even then, to be honest, I'm going to be ignorant. I'm going to be wrong and strong.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have the discussion, and more likely you might not go down the traditional route because it might not suit you. But some people love the tradition. You know, like I've seen like weddings where it's like half Asian culture and then half African culture. The man comes in his thing, girl comes in the sari. If you want to do something like that, cool. Ain't got no problem. But I think when it comes to like the norms of taking names and stuff like that, I'm just not budging.
Yeah.
So I don't mind if I have to sit before your dad
And explain.
your great uncle, whatever. I'm gonna tell you the same thing. That no, if you wanna marry me, you gotta take my name. If you're not gonna take my name, then this ain't.
It's not gonna work.
We're not even seeing eye to eye on names. Why
would anything else work? Yeah.
So okay, but what's your massive objection to her name being double barreled though?
So I had this discussion previously. I feel like for me, obviously my name has legacy and lineage, but I think also on top of that, I just believe that there's just certain ways that we do things, you know. So I feel that men are incredibly disadvantaged in a number of situations, yeah? So number one for me would be in terms of that maternal nature, yeah, of childbirth. Whether men want to or not, it doesn't matter how much you are around, it doesn't matter how much you put your 2 pence in, yeah? You're never going to be as close within the first, I'd say, maybe like 2 years, yeah, of a child's birth, yeah, as the mother. You're never going to be. It doesn't matter how present you are, what you do, yeah? Unless that mother has left and said, I am not going to have anything to do with this child, yeah? You're going to be incredibly disadvantaged as a male. We cannot change that. We can be as present as possible, but we cannot change that. You don't see me going around, oh yeah, well, you know, I won't put the baby in my stomach, then why don't we find some genetics? Do you know what I'm saying? I just deal with what that is, isn't it? And so for me, I just feel like this is one of those things that this is just what it is. Sometimes you just have to take the rough.
Just take it, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and I just don't understand why some people are so at ease to change it, because when we have the conversations, if we're talking about flying, cool, I get it. But some of the conversations are just so irrelevant. Like, as you said, it wasn't the biggest thing on your plate at the time. It's not the biggest thing ever on the plate at anyone's time. Do you know what I'm saying? If I've got people who are dying, yeah, who are in my family, and I've got to organise, you know, funerals, and I've got to get this going and that, I'm not having a conversation about whose name is what. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just respect me enough to say, okay, this is one of the things that you got to do, and this is one of the things that I've got to live with. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
See, when I speak to men that are like, who massively object, like I understand you have, because I was married to a Ghanaian as well, right? So there were things that I had to compromise on.
Yeah.
There were things like, my daughter's name, for example, like her granddad said it was tradition for him to name his eldest granddaughter. The choice of name was not what we had in mind for her, if that makes sense. So the compromise was that we would make that her middle name instead. Now, subsequently, my daughter has a lot of names and it's a little bit long, I'm not going to lie.
Ghanaians do that.
Mine too.
Yeah.
My niece has got a lot of names. She's West Indian. She's got about 8 names.
Yeah, she's got.
It's long. It can't fit. And my nephew can't fit.
Yeah,
on the
she's
rest
got
of it.
six
Long.
names.
It's long.
In total. So yeah, it's a little bit long. But I mean, I think now that she's older, not that I'm backtracking, because I still think that even if I got married, there is still probably a chance that I would double barrel my name, possibly.
Okay.
But
No, go on, because this. Sorry, I just remembered something. But
yeah,
go on.
but I do kind of feel like, regarding her name, I don't know if I would now object to dropping the double-barreled, if that makes sense. Because even on some of her documents, I'll just put her dad's last names because I just can't be bothered. Yeah.
Remember when Cheryl Tweedy married Andy Cole?
And she kept his surname.
And then Ashley, sorry, I don't do football.
Yeah.
Call me out there, good man. Ashley Cole, and then they got divorced and she met the other guy. And for a long while, she was still...
Cheryl Cole.
Yeah. Like, it was mad. Everyone was like... I was like, why would you keep... you that mashup? It wasn't good for you. You've left. Why would you carry on keeping his name?
How would you feel?
Sounds good.
How would you feel like...
It's mad.
But as a man, how would you feel if you've been married to somebody, your marriage is broken down, and she's still using
Why
your
would you still want to
surname?
use my name?
How would you feel about that, though?
Take back your name. It's like when you get a car, you put a private plate on your car. When you sell the car, you take the plate off. The original plate goes back on the car. Take your name back.
Yeah, I would feel weird.
Yeah,
It's mad because you don't want...
I don't understand why you would continue.
Yeah, because we don't want to be together. We're not together. Whatever's happened. You want a fresh start. Give back my name.
Yeah.
And take yours and go and live your life.
I can't lie. I feel like you're still on me.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
or you're doing it. It's a dig because if we're on friendly terms, I'm gonna remarry, possibly. This next woman's gonna. So you, my ex-wife and my current wife are gonna have the same surname.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's mad.
Do you know what that feels like? Yeah, you see when you exit a relationship, and girls love to use your yard as their new wardrobe. Yeah. Like, come get your clothes.
Come get your stuff.
Yeah.
Come get your stuff. Yeah.
If you don't take it in a certain amount of time, it's going in the bin.
It's mad.
And I was about to dash someone's clothes away recently, innit? And then they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna come pick up my clothes." I was like, "Thank you, God." Wait, you would have come back to no clothes?
No clothes. It's mad. Why would you want to keep my name?
Yes.
Why would you want to keep my name?
Yeah, it sounds like unresolved issues.
Definitely.
Okay, but this...
Go on.
But then some people do it because they like the sound of the name. Like, so I remember when we were having a discussion with your aunties could never, and they were saying that like they know people who have openly kind of given up their name because they just don't like the way it sounds in it. So and men as well, who've been like, yo, my surname kind of suspect in it. Like, yeah, let me just take her name in it, cause just sounds nicer.
It's mad. It's bad. Give him back my name. Give him back my name and go and find another one for you. Give him back my name. Yeah. What's she called now?
Don't know.
Because she went from that. She went from Cole to Fernandez Vicini.
Oh yeah.
And then that mashup.
Oh, that was wild.
What is she now?
Who's Fernandez Vicini?
There's some dancer guy in it. She met.
Yeah, some dancer guy that she was on.
They always end up with dancers, don't they?
Yeah.
These
backing
celebrities.
dancers, isn't it? They spend a lot of time with them on tour.
Yeah, true.
To be fair, she's got no rhythm, so he must have spent a lot of time trying to teach her to
They'd
dance.
be like that.
It was awful.
They'd be like
What
that.
do you mean? Awful. I wonder what her name is now. Find it and put it on the bottom. A nice graphic. The transition of
Cheryl Tweedy to Cole.
to Cole to Fernandez Vicini to whatever she is now.
I thought she was married to. Was she married to someone from One Direction? Didn't they have a baby or something? I thought she got married.
No, she was dating the guy from One Direction. It's funny because he was considerably younger than her, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they had a baby though.
Did they?
I'm sure they did. I'm sure she.
You got to type in what is Cheryl Cole's surname.
It's mad.
Yeah, so obviously she went Penance with C&E before they split 2016. Now, however, it seems Cheryl has decided to go back to her roots. She is legally Cheryl Tweedy.
She's gone back to Tweedy now. See, you should have done that at the beginning.
Yeah.
So who's the baby with?
Did she really have a baby with mine from One Direction?
I'm sure she did. She got she had a baby, but I thought it was with him.
No.
Yeah.
This is a sidebar, but I'll allow it still.
So Liam Payne has admitted that he and Girls Aloud singer Cheryl Cole had a solid relationship until she fell pregnant with their son Bear.
So she had a baby.
Liam Payne.
It's a bare pain. That child's name is Bear Pain. Nah. Are you all right?
Why would she do that?
Bear Pain. Nah.
Yeah, but
Come
what?
on.
That's what you man have been advocating for, innit?
What's that?
Taking the dad's name.
No,
That's what you
Yeah,
Bear
there
Payne.
you go. There you go.
Yeah, but then you choose a better name. Bear Pain.
Pure pain.
Instead of them to choose Max or something like that.
Yeah. Bear Pain. I would terrorize that child at school. Are you all right? You're asking to be slightly bullied, just a little bit. I'm in bear pain. My leg hurts. I'm in bear pain.
Bare pain.
I hurt my back. I'm in bear pain. Miss, can I go my stomach's hurting. I got an upset stomach. I'm in bear pain. Are you? Oh man, that's wild. That's mad. But then, my son was almost called King.
Kingfisher.
Yeah, it was very close. I was trying. He said the other day, "I'm glad you didn't call me that. That's a terrible name."
The fish, innit?
Yeah, Kingfisher. I was so close.
I was nearly called Lisa.
Oh,
My godmother wanted to call me Lisa.
What? Lisa Simpson?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Ah.
But then my brother came through with the Dionne because he liked Dionne Warwick.
Okay. I'd have
So-
terrorized you still. Lisa Simpson.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Even at this big age, you would have got terrorized with that.
Yeah, so luckily
You got a bly.
that wasn't the case.
I got lucky in it because like obviously Donovan in it, and then like people just stuck with the Don in it, and then people are like, "Is that really your name?" I'm like, "Yes, bro." Like I didn't just name myself Don because I think I'm some part of a man. My name's actually Don. Yeah. But then I get the old school Jamaican Donovan.
yeah.
That was good.
What? I was waiting for you to say something profound there.
Yeah, so was I.
Waiting for you to say something profound.
No, I was waiting for you to say something.
For me?
Yeah.
I've got nothing. I've got nothing.
So wait, what's the consensus? So you wouldn't?
I'm not. No way. I'm not. No.
Well, you're not what? Getting married? Double
Well, we know
barreled?
I'm not getting married. That's a given. We know
No,
that.
I mean, do we know that?
I know that.
What are your reasons for not wanting to get married?
I just don't see the point, to be honest.
How dare you?
Because I saw your ring. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Very happy for you. But for me, nah.
Are you saying you're just out here all summers?
Not even that. But just
Long-term relationship.
just doesn't the point. Get a mortgage together. It means more. For me,
Yeah. I remember I met someone in like uni who was like that. She like her parents been together forever. Like, forever. I was like, married? She was like, no.
no, I don't see it.
Yeah. That's what she said. She was like, at
see it.
this stage,
Don't see it.
don't even see the point.
Yeah, and I hear it. I mean,
The most important thing is that you stay together, you have a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just like within my viewpoint, marriage is kind of like the highest virtue of what a relationship could be. Something that's sworn in front of friends, family. Yeah, but again, some people get married, they elope, they don't do it in front of friends.
Do you know what? It's funny that.
So
Because if I did, I just would do it. I'd know I would know. There'd be no party, there'd be no guests. It would just be me and the person, go, do it, come back. Oh, where have you been? Got married.
So I think there's things about the ceremony that make it sacred for me.
Yeah.
And
This is the union of it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you
that
not-
thing of like swearing in front of her family, your family, and the people who mean the most to you.
So you don't really mind too much about the traditional side of what an English marriage or a Ghanaian marriage is. It's more to do with
the components. Like you could throw the biggest, most spectacular wedding, yeah, or you can bring a massive dowry, but then if your relationship,
the marriage is going to be
dysfunctional
rubbish.
and then
The wedding's fantastic, but the marriage is
it doesn't mean anything. So for me, it's the commitment to the relationship.
Yeah, and to the journey of the marriage. Because I think for me, when I next get married, I don't care for the wedding, if that makes sense. Like I'd be more than happy for it to just be me and him.
Yeah.
And we just go somewhere
Just do it.
and just and do it, and then maybe we can celebrate afterwards. But I feel like because I've already done that whole masquerade and spectacle of it. It doesn't. I mean, I think obviously it means something at the time, but then obviously when you're now out of it, it's a bit like, you know, when I look at my bridal parties, like how many people do I still speak to?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, even people that came to the wedding.
Ain't heard from him in ages.
Do you know what I mean? So
that's the thing. Not having a big wedding is good financial management.
absolutely
It's responsible.
responsible.
It's what it is. Yeah.
But you know, I suppose this is the thing. This is the thing in it where I say you got to take the rough with the smooth in it. And this is the thing. A lot of the time, I know that they say like the was it the groom's family or the bride's family should take the hit.
No, it's the groom. The groom.
Yeah,
No, it's the bride.
No, it's the bride's family.
Bride-
That's supposed to.
Father of the
That'll
bride.
never happen, man. Come on, like
No,
you
yeah.
really and truly, as even we're talking about like double barrel names, as a man, you think I'm gonna go to my wife's dad and say, but you should be putting
so how
this
much?
event
It's a
on.
big man.
So big man, how much?
How much? So what? I'm thinking I've got about 10 to put in. What? Can you match it?
No,
no way.
Not doing
No
that.
way.
Do you know what I'm
No
saying?
way.
But again, this
That's
is
your
what,
daughter, 25, man. We still
No way.
see, we don't do that. It's just like, all right, cool. I've decided to get married. Right, cool. Let me see how much I've got in savings. Our babes, we can't do it this year. I'm gonna
Do
save
it.
a couple of the money that's coming in this year to move it to. Bro, we just take it on the chin. Ain't no one saying, but your dad is supposed to, brother.
yeah.
What's your dad doing? Your dad's useless.
But then this brings it back to the argument of tradition, because traditionally the father is supposed to do that. So why is it we can pick and choose
What tradition?
what traditions we choose to take?
Because human beings are like that.
Yeah, because
It's like if you look at religious text, most people pick and choose. Yeah.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
And it's just human beings. We find what's good for us. We find moral justifications for the things that are good for us. And we just let the good times roll.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Because do you know what? Tradition gets kind of tacky. Do you know what I'm saying? Like traditionally, it's okay for a man to have more than one wife, depending on what kind of culture you come from. But people aren't gonna be like, oh yeah, it's tradition, let's run with it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More time you're gonna be like, wait a minute, sorry, what? You just married me and you're telling me that, you know, Stacey down the street could also join our family.
Yeah, have the
you know what I'm
same
saying?
name.
Have the
Sample the
same rights.
chocolate.
Yeah, have the same rights, bear your kids and that, and I'm just supposed to sit here and just be like, all right, darling, kiss, kiss. No, people aren't taking that.
All right, question for you, for obviously I'm the only woman here. But on that note about, you know, having, like traditionally men could have more than one wife. If that tradition still stood, would that be something that you would exercise, Kieron?
In theory, yes. Practically, no.
Why not
Because
practically?
I couldn't think of anything worse
Yeah, sounds like fresh hell.
than trying to... Huh? Sounds like hell, like. I couldn't think of anything worse.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything worse.
What makes it worse?
You got to try and
days,
you
can't
got to
lie.
try and manage. Wait, how many are we talking?
And it's up to
Multiple.
you. You could have
Even
two,
two,
yeah.
three.
even two would be hard work. You got to try and manage two separate people that know about each other. That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah.
But you still have to manage these two people.
Yeah, I couldn't
and
do
if you
that.
start having kids and that, you got to manage now two people.
Yeah.
And everything that comes with them.
No.
And you're one man.
Yeah, and then you also got to think about, people don't think about this. You got to think about periods.
Everything. You got to think about everything, man.
You got to think about making sure that person is well. People are different. as
Jealousy.
well. What works for one person doesn't work for another. Jealousy
will definitely
you know what
creep
I'm saying? It's gonna creep in. You're doing one thing with one. Why? How comes you never do that with me? Because you don't even like what we're doing. Like me and her be playing football. You don't like playing football. Yeah, but you can spend more time doing what I like to do.
You got two sets
Well,
of hater best
what?
friends.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
It's long. It's
Yeah,
long.
two sets of families.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
long.
when guys think of when guys think about it, they think about the sexual
side of it.
And that's fun.
But the actual mechanics of it.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
But even the sexual, you're saying is fun, yeah. But sometimes that could get you're now thinking, okay, how many seconds did I spend with this one? I should try and replicate the amount of seconds before this one thinks that I'm spending more time with this, or I like her. But well, how come you don't like having sex with me as much as you like having sex with? What is this?
And you know what else? Yeah. No. Okay. So
No, go for it.
So there's an expectation that you might sleep with both of them together.
That's I think people think that.
Yeah,
right.
And that they both be into each other as much as they're into you.
I think a lot of people think that, and
Sometimes
that's
it's not going to be the case.
The majority of the time, that's not going to. 99.9% of the time,
it's a bit mad.
you're not living like that.
Yeah, it's
mad. That's
so
that's all techie.
But I
I
know
think
someone.
Kieran's right with the mechanics.
It's too techie.
It's a lot of work.
But I know someone like that. I know someone who, obviously for very clear reason, I'm not going to mention names and stuff. But I know someone who got married, found out that their husband was cheating, and it took her a long time, but then she just agreed. She's like, you can have 2 wives. No problem.
Straight.
I'm going to play my role. She going to play her role.
Interesting. So what does she get out of it?
She stays married.
They was
She's married. She got her kids. He's happy, so she don't have to worry about,
He's not doing anything
Yeah,
else.
like he genuinely, I'm assuming, loves these 2 women.
Of course you can love 2 women at the
He
same
plays his role.
No, you can, and I'm for a minute, but I as much as I'm aware of that,
Well, you wouldn't have it. We know that.
Yeah.
But do you think it's a pride thing?
Pride, ego.
So then you have to understand the double barrel name then.
Wait, hold on. I haven't finished. Wait. I haven't finished. And for me, it's the splitting of resources as well, because at the end of the day, there is so much more that we could achieve in our household, but now our resources are now being split in 2.
I disagree. I think you have more resources.
No.
And if the other person's
willing to
a willing
You're
participant,
married to 2 people. They all have to put in. They're all living together. They all.
are we all living in the same house?
I don't know if they're all living in the same house. I actually don't know that, so I can't really.
because the
Comment.
mortgage.
No, I'm just saying, as in our hypothetical, would they be
Situation.
staying in the same house? Because that would be hell, not fresh hell. That would be absolute hell.
I don't
3
know,
of us
though.
in one house.
Yeah, that's interesting.
My house would have to have wings, so I can go when I'm ready. I'm in a completely separate wing, and I don't have to see
But you can have
anybody.
an outhouse.
No, I want a wing.
So are you going to put me in that?
No.
No. I'm saying, all right, cool. I'm saying, if you had, because this is possible with 3 people who have at least 35 to 40k income, you can have a 5-bedroom house,
Without outside
you can
space.
have an outhouse, you can have a shed as well as that.
Your man cave,
Yeah.
basically.
And you can have a garage.
No, I
If
want
you
a
you can build on top of the
No,
garage.
I want a wing with intercoms.
Yeah, but you see what you're saying here. Dionne's talking about resources.
Yeah.
Even though you're bringing more resources, because of the setup, you're spending so much more.
Oh, yeah, because there's
but
more
the problem is,
children.
like, all right, so I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm assuming here. Yeah, so I'm assuming that you own the property because to me, if you got 3 incomes, it don't make no sense to not have a mortgage. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you're building on the property, you're making more equity for the property. If you sell the property, let's say later down the line, you say to yourselves, all right, cool, maybe you don't get on, maybe you don't like living together, you're still gonna have more resources when you sell the property because the amount that you put in and invested in the property, you're turning like 100k property to like 160k.
Yeah, but then we're assuming that these women both came along at the same time and we all sat down and mutually agreed that we're going to buy a property and da-da-da. More time, it's not even going to work like that.
Maybe one person doesn't want to.
I'll be
Yeah.
More
on
efficient
my
for them to
own.
stay at home and raise a child.
This is why I'll never do it. To be honest,
I will stay alone on my own before I try to do that. That is a madness. Holidays.
You have to be a different kind
yeah,
of.
holidays is
Holidays.
gonna be crazy.
Nah.
I feel like, do you remember when we had the Utopia conversation? I was like,
Nah.
in a judgment-free world, would I have 2 male partners? Yeah, why not?
Carol Vorderman's on that.
Is she?
Yeah.
So she
She
put
said
2 and 2
likes-
together,
she
yeah?
Said she likes, she said she realized that she likes the good parts of dating and doesn't like the bad parts of dating. So she created a world where she has the good parts of dating.
Yeah, big up Carol.
She's
still.
famous
big
for her
up.
numbers. So.
Yeah, big up Carol.
Yeah, it is.
Just keep it like that.
So she was like, she has 2 partners. She just does does her thing. Is what it is. I don't think she's married though. But yeah.
Nah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having 2 husbands. In a utopia, in reality,
What
it
do you
wouldn't
think
work.
it is about that appeals?
I think the same with what probably Carol was saying is like, you know, how often is it that you can get one thing from one person, if that makes sense? Oh, so maybe the battery's dead then. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, like how often can you? The thing is, I'm in a relationship now, so maybe I shouldn't really say this on air. Might cut this
Get in
bit
trouble
out,
still.
innit?
No, if I say stuff and think you got to stand by what you say. Don't start cutting stuff out. Nah. Don't, because you're all of a sudden with somebody now. Things are gonna start changing. Nah.
That seems to be like,
Nope.
hold on, so what you're saying is,
Yeah, you've changed now. Don't do
I've
that.
not changed.
Clearly, you're trying to. Don't do that. Don't do that. Nope. We've been doing this for a year, yeah, and we've started doing it a particular way. Do not be that person.
I'm not going to be that
Okay,
person.
cool. So then don't edit that bit out.
Okay, fine.
Right.
Anyway, so it's been an interesting conversation today. Thank you to Sam and actually no, hold on, we didn't get a resolution, did we?
Yeah, we did.
We did?
Yeah, we did.
What's the resolution?
That if you're going to do it traditionally, then it makes sense. If it makes sense to you to do it, then do it. If it doesn't, then don't do it. But at the same time, there's probably more important things you can worry about. Bosh.
A shame. Love it. Pew. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you again to Sam and Donnie from the Family Podcast. For coming and sitting with us today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this episode, drop your comments, give Kieron hell.
Give me hell?
Yeah.
That is a thing still. People
Give
sometimes
Kieron
still,
hell.
People give me.
Send all the love my way and stuff. But
And also, actually, which camera's recording that one?
the
We've been doing this a year now.
yes.
I see a lot of people giving a lot of attention to a lot of nonsense podcasts, right? And I see a lot of ignorance being shared and not a lot of stuff that makes sense. We're not the most together set of people that do pods and stuff, but compared to some of the I see out here and some of the nonsense I see getting shared, we could be doing much bigger numbers. So, off the back of that, when you see us post stuff on the timeline, it doesn't cost anything. Retweet it, send it to your friends,
Comment.
put it on your WhatsApp and comment on it because, big people talk too.
Yeah, every little helps.
Yeah.
At your big age, we're out. Peace.